You know, it's funny. We all have this incredible, powerful instrument. I'm talking about your voice. It's got the potential to connect, to influence, to really move people. But here's the thing. Most of us were never taught how to actually play it. It's like being handed a Stradivarius violin with no instruction manual. So we just wing it.
And that right there, that's what we're all about today. We are going to find that missing instruction manual together. We're going to go beyond just what you say and get into the real magic, which is how you say it. Let's turn your communication from something that just happens into a deliberate, powerful skill. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at some common mistakes most people don't even know they're making. Then we'll cover how to fix them, moving from rambling to resolution, neutral to notable. We'll get into playing your vocal instrument and finally unlock that new voice. Let's do it. All right, first up, the unseen communication mistakes. And the subtitle says it all, how subconscious habits could be costing you your career. See, the really tricky thing here is that these mistakes are happening totally under the radar. You think you're just being thorough or maybe being easy to work with, but the impression you're actually creating, well, that could be what's standing between you and that next big thing. Seriously, just think about this for a second. Your boss asks for a quick update and you launch into this long, winding story with all the details. In your head, you're proving how much you know, right? You're showing them you're on top of everything. But from their side, it just sounds confusing. They're not seeing brilliance, they're seeing a lack of clarity, and that perception, man, that can really cost you. Okay, let's get practical. Section 2, from rambling to resolution. This is all about getting clear when you're put on the spot. We're going to tackle the first two big mistakes here. And they're all about that moment when your brain just kind of short circuits and you start talking and talking, just hoping you'll stumble upon the right answer somewhere in there. So, mistake number 1, and oh boy, we have all been here. Your boss pops their head in and asks a simple question like, hey, are we on track for the Friday deadline? And what do? You launch into the entire saga. You talk about the wireframes from 3 weeks ago, the issue with that one developer, what someone said in the break room. You're trying so hard to show you've got it all under control, but you never actually answer the simple question they asked. You've completely lost the plot. And this just shows the massive disconnect perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the ramble. That's what we think we should do. Share every detail to prove our worth. But what they actually want is on the right. The answer. They're just looking for a high-level status check. It's like they asked for the headline and we're trying to hand them the entire encyclopedia. So how do we fix this? You need a lifeline for when your mind goes blank. And here it is, the ACQ Framework. It is so simple. First, A. Answer the question directly, just a single sentence. Then C, add a little bit of context, but only if you really need to. And finally, Q, ask a clarifying question. Something like, does that help, or do you want more detail? Boom, you're clear, you're concise, and you've put the ball right back in their court. Okay, on to the next one. Mistake number 2 is a little bit sneakier, and it's this. You externalize your thought process. What does that mean? It means you think out loud. Someone asks for your opinion, and you literally let them hear every single twist and turn your brain takes to get to an answer. And just look at the difference this makes. On the left, it's like you're showing them the rough draft of your thinking. Well, maybe we could do A, but wait. On second thought, B could work. It just sounds uncertain, right? It totally undermines your credibility. But on the right, you're delivering the final polished version. I recommend option B because one sounds scattered, the other sounds like a leader. So how do we get there? How do we deliver that final version? It's simple, but it takes practice. You have to give yourself permission to think before you speak. Seriously, don't answer right away. Just pause, take a deep breath. You can even do the little thinker pose, to signal that you're considering it. Formulate the answer inside your head, then deliver it cleanly. And trust me, that little bit of silence feels way longer and more awkward to you than it does to them. All right, let's keep it moving. Section 3, from neutral to notable. We've handled clarity, now let's talk about making an impact. This is all about why having a real position makes you an influencer, not a pain in the neck. It's about going from just being in the room to actually shaping what happens in it. Okay, here's a big one. Mistake number 3. You default to agreement without actually having a position. You know what I'm talking about. We're all taught to be agreeable, to be a team player. You don't want to rock the boat. So when someone asks for your opinion, your go-to answer is, oh, I'm good with whatever, or sounds good to me. But I'm telling you, that strategy, it can really, really backfire. And here's why. This is the real danger. When you don't take a position, you become forgettable.
You think you're being flexible and easygoing, but what people actually see is someone who doesn't have a strong point of view. And guess what happens over time? People just stop asking for your opinion. You literally train them that your input doesn't matter. You are, in other words, making yourself irrelevant.
So what's the fix? It's another simple framework. PRO. It's the perfect, non-confrontational way to make your voice heard. First, P. State your position. Be clear. I think we should go with option A. Then R. Give your reason, because it aligns with our Q3 goals. And then, this part is absolutely crucial, O. Open it up for discussion. What does everyone else think? See? You're not being difficult. You're being a thoughtful contributor. That is how you become an influencer. Okay, now we get to my favorite part. Section 4. Playing your vocal instrument. So far, we've talked about the what, the words you're saying, but that's only half the game. Now we get to the how. This is about learning to control the energy and dynamics of your voice. This is where we stop just talking and actually start playing. And here's mistake number 4. You're not leading the energy in the room. Most of us are what I call energy chameleons. We just match whatever's going on. If the room's low energy, we're low energy. If it's hyped up, we match that. And look, that's fine for just fitting in, but true leaders, the best communicators, they don't just reflect the energy, they set it. They're the thermostat, not the thermometer. So how do you actually do that? It's a 3-step dance. First, you have to read the room. Get a sense of where people are at. Then, and this is important, you match and mirror them for a moment. You meet them where they are. That builds connection. But then, once you've got that rapport, you start to shift and guide. You subtly adjust your own voice, your pace, your volume, and you lead them where you need the conversation to go. You literally become the conductor of the room's energy. And that leads us right into our 5th and final mistake, which is kind of the big one. You're just not playing your instrument to its fullest potential. Think about a piano with 88 keys. Most of us just use the same 5 keys in the middle for everything. The same pace, the same volume, the same melody, whether we're talking about something exciting or something serious. And you know what that makes you sound like? Monotone, unengaging, and yeah, kind of boring. Okay, so this right here, this is the user manual we've been searching for. I want you to think of your voice as having 3 main dials you can control. The first one is pace, or speed. If I start talking really, really fast, it creates a sense of passion and excitement. It pulls you in. But if I slow my pace way down, suddenly every word carries more weight, doesn't it? It feels more important. Okay, dial number 2, volume. I can get louder to show confidence and really command attention. But if I want to draw you in, create a sense of intimacy, I just bring my volume down. See how you lean in to listen? And the last dial is melody. If I talk in a flat monotone like this for a long time, you're going to fall asleep. But by adding some highs and lows, some musicality, it becomes way more dynamic and engaging. The best speakers, they are constantly playing with these 3 dials.
All right, let's bring this all home. Section 5, unlock your new voice. We've talked about all these little mistakes that happen without you even realizing it. But now you have the tools, the new behaviors to replace them. And this isn't just about sounding a little better. This is about completely changing the way people see and hear you. Just think about the transformation. When you stop rambling and start using that ACQ framework, you sound sharp and clear. When you stop being neutral and start using the PRO framework, you sound like a leader with a point of view. And when you finally start playing with those vocal dials, you become engaging, dynamic, influential. You're not just tweaking things, you're unlocking a whole new version of yourself. The one that gets listened to, that gets respected, and that is never, ever overlooked again. So look, you have the tools now. You've got the instruction manual for that incredible instrument you've had all along. That future version of you, the one who's more confident, more influential, more respected, is right there, just waiting. So the question is, are you going to let them speak?